We are New York. Bernie and Sid in the morning. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
30 years ago tomorrow at Kingsway Jewish Center on Kings Highway and Nostrand Avenue, I walked down the aisle with one Danielle Kahn, now Danielle Kahn Rosenberg, and that was our first dance, a very, very obscure Neil Diamond song that I became aware of, and I loved it. It's called If There Were No Dreams. That was our first dance, and tomorrow we'll celebrate our 30-year anniversary. But as I talked about earlier, before we get back to guns and all the nasty stuff, we started to celebrate last night because, as it turns out, I told you that when I first got married to Danielle, I lost my wedding band, and I lost it in the pool on the cruise ship on our honeymoon. And I went about 3 years with no wedding band, and then we got married in 1992. 1995, I did my first rehab stint. Not proud of it, but true. And I told you earlier, Bernie, you know the story, that she was graduating college. I was at Brooklyn College that day with her grandmother, who has since passed, Nana. Hillary Clinton was the actual speaker. And I had to leave in the middle of the speech and give my wife a kiss goodbye, not knowing, I really didn't know, Bernie, I'm being completely honest, if I would ever see Danielle again. I really thought it was over. I mean, here I'm married 3 years. I'm in the throes of a horrible drug and alcohol problem. I can't keep a job. I'm a mess. My parents are driving me to rehab. She's gorgeous, brilliant. And I thought when I said goodbye at Brooklyn College that day that may be goodbye forever. So you could imagine the trip in the car with my parents to Warnersville, Pennsylvania, outside of Reading, to Cowan Foundation Chit Chat Farms to go to rehab, those hours and hours in the car, just how miserable I was, Bernard.
God, absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, I can hear it in your voice, and I can just picture it. Anybody would be.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then
Terrible,
I get to rehab, and my parents take me in. That's another whole story. When they made my mother, who started to cry, throw out my scope and my cologne because they were afraid I was going to drink it. I wasn't that bad, folks, but there were folks that do that. And then when you first get to rehab, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, not your parents, not your wife, not your kids. For 1 week in just about every rehab across the country, you're on lockdown. And all you do is go to meetings and wake up and eat, and that's it. And then once that week was lifted, the first phone call I got, they said, Mr. Rosenberg, come to the front office. And at that point, I'd not seen or heard from Danielle in a while, and it was her. And she said, I'm coming to see you tomorrow. Anyway, she showed up with a new marriage band. And I wore that marriage band for 27 years until last night when she presented me with this beautiful platinum marriage band, which I'm wearing right now. And Eric Salas, again, does a great job, WABCRadio.tv. He's showing it right now. So, and I gave her her gift last night, too, even though Saturday is the actual anniversary. We're going to go to River Cafe tomorrow, which is a lovely, lovely place in Dumbo at the bottom of the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn. So I'm wearing this today, and it's 30 years. And as you talked about, Danielle's a divorce attorney. She deals with the ugliest of cases. And in a world today where I think about 64%, maybe the number, Bernie, 64% of marriages end in divorce. If you can go 30 years like me or 31 years like you and your lovely wife, Carol, that says a lot about dedication, patience, compromise, all those things. And that's where we are coming up tomorrow.
Yep, and not to mention love.
Right at the very top.
And they also studies out there saying that people who remain married, they live longer. They live a lot longer than people who
except for Jewish men.
Divorce.
Jewish men die first. Why is that? Because they want to. You know that.
They want to. Yes, of course. Yes. Tip your bartenders, ladies and gentlemen. But that's a beautiful thing what she did last night. That was really, really sweet. And congratulations, I guess.
Thank
right?
you.
You're wearing it right now.
Yes, it is. Eric Salas just showed it. So again, you can watch this radio show. We're not live anymore. We will be soon, 24/7 actually, but you can watch it afterwards. In fact, they've been showing. Good morning, Gabby. Beautiful pictures of Danielle all morning long. WABCRadio.tv. You can go back and watch the show, listen to all the great stuff we've done already today, from all of our great interviews to the great conversations to this big day coming up from me and Danielle tomorrow. Today's a big day, too. I'm going to leave here, go back to Queens, and then head to Brooklyn. And today is the very last day of filming for season 2 of Gravesend, which has been filming season 2 for almost 2 years because of COVID and all the great stars that William DeMeo actually brought in. I mean, a load of stars: Chaz Palminteri, Vinny Pistori, Armand DeSante, Andrew Dice Clay, Sid Rosenberg, Fran Drescher, all in season 2. We're going to film it today. The whole cast is going to be there. Huge fireworks show. It's really going to be a July 4th party. On the show, it'll be July 4th, even though today is June 24th. So the whole cast getting together in Brooklyn today. Danielle and Gabriel are coming later on for that, too. And that's going to be a blast later on today. And then we'll give you the date, hopefully soon, on when you can actually watch season 2, hopefully on either Amazon Prime or Netflix.
Man, that's a long day.
Yes.
Wow, I'm exhausted already just hearing about it.
Right, and then tomorrow's the anniversary. So River Cafe, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So every day, that's the one thing.
Wow.
You say Donald Trump's got a lot of energy, and he does, but I'm not that far behind him, bro.
No, I'll give you all the props in the world. I got to tell you, all the props. I mean, I would turn down 3/4 of what you're doing. I really would. I don't know how you. I mean. Look, because it's the exercise, working out, and doing the show, and then on top of it, having to do these extracurricular activities. You have to do some, of course, but this filming, this is way above and beyond what you're doing. It's a second job is what it is. And I don't know if I would agree to do that at this point. I used to do TV. And I was perpetually exhausted,
right?
And I learned from that, and that's why I kind of cut back.
Right, I was with you. I mean, at the end when you were doing Bill O'Reilly on Tuesday nights, that was a long day. You would do Imus in the morning, then our midday show together, and then
6 hours.
Right,
6 hours.
Right, but this is different because this is not. In other words, if I had to make an appearance on Newsmax or Fox News, I wouldn't do it. But when you're shooting a TV show and or a movie. Trust me when I tell you, you would do it because it's exciting. It's not like going to do a 12-minute segment sitting next to Greg Gutfeld and have Bill O'Reilly, yell at you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a lot more than. I mean, you have to prepare. You have to come up with something original.
No, you did.
Witty.
Yes.
You can't just go sit there and mouth talking points.
No, and you did that. You were very, very entertaining. I used to break Gutfeld's balls. I still do. I know he's number one now, late night, but. And I'm not saying this because you're my best friend or I love you. I really felt like you carried that thing on Tuesday nights. You carried it, and I think he learned a lot from you, Greg Gutfeld, and that's why he's probably so good today. But you did.
Listen, that's very nice of you to say. I don't necessarily agree with that, but thank you.
It's true. Anyway, yes, you had those long days, and so today is one of those days for me, but it's all going to be fun, and then a nice dinner on tonight. The kids will celebrate the anniversary tonight with me and Danielle, and then tomorrow night we'll do it alone and end up at some beautiful hotel. Anyway, let's get to the big story in New York today, which is on the cover of today's New York Post. Bernard, you're all over this. New Dodge City. Supreme Court overturns New York's 111-year ban on carrying concealed guns. What's the latest with this? I think it's great. I think you do too, despite what Eric Adams, Kathy Hochul, and Whoopi Goldberg are saying. What's the latest with this?
Well, the latest is it's the law of the land. I mean, there's no appeal. It's the Supreme Court makes this decision. There's no court of appeals anywhere that they can go to. So you're going to have the state legislatures, these woke state legislatures in these particular 8 states, because that's who it affects. That's who has these most restrictive gun laws. But particularly in New York, because this is where the case emanated from, you're going to have Adams and Hochul. They're going to try to do something. It's going to be unconstitutional because the Supreme Court ruled what it ruled. But in any case, Kathy Hochul sounded like a complete moron yesterday, complete idiot when she was talking about it. I think this is cut number 4, Luke. Kathy Hochul. Play play Kathy Hochul. Go.
I'm sorry this dark day has come. They were supposed to go back to what was in place since 1788 when the Constitution of the United States of America was ratified. And I would like to point out to the Supreme Court justices that the only weapons at the time were muskets. I'm prepared to go back to muskets. I don't think they envision the high-capacity assault weapon magazines intended for battlefields as being covered from it, but I guess we're just going to have to disagree.
I think she's stuck on stupid. I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, we're talking about concealed carry pistols is what we're talking about. And muskets. What do you? I mean, look, this is a good thing. You're going to have the good guys out on the street with guns. And here's what it boils down to: the brilliant Clarence Thomas actually wrote the opinion, And it was a very, very short opinion, but right to the point. This is what he wrote. All that we decide in this case is that the Second Amendment protects the right of law-abiding people to carry a gun outside the home for self-defense. And then he goes on. And that the Sullivan Law, which was law in New York for 100 years, and that the Sullivan Law, which makes that virtually impossible for most New Yorkers, is unconstitutional. In other words, it's the Second Amendment applies to you, me, everybody else, everybody who doesn't have a record. You're still going to have to go through a rigorous background check. Like John Katzmatidis said, in Suffolk County, they make 5 people testify essentially, in writing to your character and why, you should not be denied a gun, et cetera, et cetera. But prior to this, it was mostly celebrities and those types of people who got it, and the average person just couldn't get it. Way too many hurdles, and they just denied it. In other words, anything beyond self-defense now, you don't have to prove. Self-defense is all you need. I'm walking out in the street. I want to defend myself. New York City is a zoo. And Eric Adams had the nerve to say this, cut number 3, Louis.
We cannot allow New York to become the Wild Wild West. That is unacceptable.
Well, it's already the Wild Wild West. What the hell is he talking about? This is actually going to help Eric Adams. You're going to have the good guys out there on the streets with guns in the subways. You see these animals in the subways hassling people, and most people are just standing by, hassling a woman, and men are just standing by. Well, a good man will now whip out his pistol and say, "Knock it off, dirtbag," and fill him, make him look like Swiss cheese or something like that. Yeah. But they say it's going to get crazy out there. Right. Well, Florida and the rest of the country, besides these 8 states with these restrictive gun laws, they don't have these problems. Nobody is shooting each other at baseball and football games or in bars and restaurants. No. Nobody's doing that. You don't read about it. You don't hear about it. You don't see. So let the law stand. Let it sit. For at least a year. Let's see if what Eric Adams says is going to come to fruition. It's not. No. It is the Wild Wild West now. If anything, they'll be shooting the thugs that you and your contemporaries up in Albany are negligent to lock up, right, or too incompetent to lock up. So it might help you out. So you might want to thank Clarence Thomas for his opinion on this law. Agreed.
John Neese is listening right now. Good morning, John Neese. Very, very good buddy of mine. Danielle loves him, too, doing some stuff over at the place. John, nice to talk to you. And everybody agrees, all of our friends, Jen DeLandro listening, John Neese, about the gun issue. You did mention that Kathy Hochul, of course, is one of the folks, along with Eric Adams, yelling and screaming, which is nonsense.
And they all have protection, by the way, of men with guns.
All of them, every one of them, yep. Even the ones, the Obamas, the Pelosi's who have complained over the years about all that nonsense. But anyway, you've got a chance to change all that, folks. Again, this is the last weekend before the big primary day coming up this Tuesday, June the 28th. You've heard all 4 men on this show, from Lee Zeldin to Andrew Giuliani to Rob Astorino to Harry Wilson. They've all been on, all 4. They're all good men. I happen to think personally that Andrew Giuliani won. He won those 3 debates. I think he'd make the best governor, but I'd be very happy if any of those men won. I thought Astorino was really, really good. I think those 2 in particular really shined during those debates, Andrew and Rob. But here's your chance, Bernie, on Tuesday to make it happen.